Yeah, so in the last class we have discussed about functions, and we have concluded the class with expression functions, right? So an expression function will be like this. So this is an expression function. Okay. Let me tell you, so this is a magical way, like we can store a function definition entirely to another variable, so that that variable is also going to be a function then. Got it? And another magic here with expression functions, that is called immediate invocation. So let me create a function demo. Let I'll be called immediately. Okay. So this is called self invocation. Okay. How we are calling the say? We are invoking the say by using the name of that and passing some parameter. Because of this function accepts a parameter. Even the say and tell both are same. The whatever the definition with say, the same definition will be copied to tell function also, so that the same function will be acted in the form of say as well as in the form of tell. Okay. So without invoking like this, we cannot call the function. Okay. And I'm sure that you have never seen this type of calling a function like immediate invocation or self invocation. Okay. The function itself called by it. Okay. Itself it called by a definition here. Okay. This is called a bracket, function invocation brackets. So this makes a function called by itself. Okay. Okay then. So I will not be using the demo like this now. I don't call the function like this. Let me run the script. So hello Vignesh, hello Veena, and I'll be called immediately. Okay. Who is calling this? I'm not using any separate invocation statement for demo here like this. I'm not using this one. So even without having this type of invocation, the function is going to be called immediately. This is called immediate invocation. Okay. Okay. So just now we see the immediate invocation, right? Then let me continue with the JavaScript objects. We'll start with the objects, JavaScript objects. You know, JavaScript is an object-based programming language, whereas everything is going to be treated like an object here in JavaScript. This is not a class-based programming. To create any object in JavaScript, no need to create a class, because it's not object-oriented program. Yes, of course, it will be object-oriented, but still it takes some time. Okay, but as of now, we should say that, and also we will be working on object-based programming on Java, but not object-oriented programming on Java. Okay. At the completion of our course, not only not at the completion of the course, but at the completion of this JavaScript, I'll let you know how to create a class, okay, in JavaScript. Then how to create objects for the JavaScript classes. Okay, I've seen the extends keyword also in the JavaScript. Still, the syntax is a new thing for me also, but I'll prepare that. I'll prepare the content. I'll let you know. Okay, then. So object. What is an object? So an object is a physical entity, but what is a object in computer science? So the object in computer science, so it is an called instance. That is like an instance, okay, a virtual entity or an instance, so which will have some states and behaviors. as what we have discussed about Java object in Java language, in Java programming language, the same thing. The object is going to have some states and behavior in JavaScript also. So wherever the object is, the purpose of the object is to store the state and to express the behavior. That's it. Okay. So a JavaScript object will have states and behaviors. Unlike Java, we should not create class. Okay, we should not create class for JavaScript objects. Okay, we should not create objects here, classes here in order to create JavaScript objects. Okay, and this is an object based, and we can create objects in JavaScript by three ways. First is literal. A literal is just like an assignment. So basically an object is going to be like this. This is an object. The set brackets. Yes, in the set brackets we'll be having an object. Okay, every object will have a key and a value, and this is one object parameter. This is one state, and for the next state another key and another value. And you know, you should separate a key and value pairs by using comma operator here. The comma operator is used to separate one pair and another pair. So like this we'll be having any number of pairs, depends on the data requirement, like this. So all these pairs should be encapsulated into the set brackets. So this is called as an object. We'll call it as an object. Okay. So for example, let us take a student. Suppose if I have a student here, var student is equal to assign a value. So I'm going to assign an object to this. Suppose if I just assign a name, what would be this? This is a variable, just a string variable. It's a string literal. This is called string literal. But when if it is going to be a set, and if you are going to store a key and value pairs here, that would be the object. So name is John. Okay. Age. Okay. This is for a student. If we can observe here, the keys are not going to be put into the double quotes. Even we are not using single quotes to store the keys, as keys should not be encapsulated in the double quotes. Only the values should be put into the double quote. And integers, no need to put the double quotes for integers, as it will consider the age as a number, name and locations as strings. Okay. So this is called entire property. A property will have a property name and property value, where this is going to be an entire property. Set of properties can be encapsulated into the set brackets. Then the student is an object. How can you access this now? You can access by using object representation like student.name, like this. Okay, student.name. So that will return John. Then student.age will return 18, like this. So this is the way how we can retrieve the objects and how we can create object as a literal. Okay. Did you understand? Yeah. Then let me create an example for this literal object literal. Where stood. Okay. Okay, let it be ID, comma. Okay. Open the console.log to display the output. Okay. Okay, let it be. I'll show you the console.log at runtime. First of all, I'll run the object1.html page. Open the console. So console.log of, just try to display stud. See, stud is an object. It returns an object. Okay. So where the object contains properties like age, ID, location, and name. Okay, so this is the actual order. ID, name, age, location is the actual order. But at the runtime, it will be sorted the keys according to the name. Okay, based on the names, automatically the key will get sorted. Okay, at the runtime. Now, just try to display student dot age. It returns 18. Student dot name John. Student dot location New Jersey. Okay, so this is a way how we can create object as a literal and we can access the object like this. Okay, if you just check the type of stud, so type of stud, it shows object for that. And what is type of id? Okay, sorry, type of stud.id, not just id, stud.id, that is a number. And type of stud.name, which is a string here. So did you understand the object literal? So this is the way how we can create object as a literal. Okay, now let's go to the second approach, how to create the object. So that is by using new keyword here. I mean instance. Okay, you know, by using new keyword, instance will be created for that by new keyword. Okay, so this time you need to create object for the object constructor. Okay, to the constructor of object, we need to create object by using new keyword. Inbuilt, the JavaScript contains some inbuilt constructors. For those inbuilt constructors, you need to call with the new keyword. Okay. So what I'm saying is you need to call the object constructor by new keyword. So this is the second approach. Okay, let us see the program for the second approach. Okay, so first I'll create student is equal to new object. Now student is an object. Now you can define the property names and property values separately, but not like as a set. The previous approach was literal approach. The literal will be like this, but now you are using new keyword to create an object, so that will be a separate statement. That should not be the part of assignment. Okay, at the time of assignment, just you are creating instance to the object constructor. That's it. So this is not an object class. This is object constructor. It's a function actually. Okay, object is a function. For that function, just creating instance. So would like to check. You can check it. So type of object. See that the type of object is a function. Okay, because object JavaScript is a object based programming but not object oriented. If it is object oriented, here this fragment, whatever I'm highlighting here, this one would be a class actually if it is a object oriented programming, because in the object oriented programming you should have class and object. Because of this is an object based programming, you should say everything like a function. Yes, functions can be instantiated in JavaScript. Only in JavaScript programming language, functions can be instantiated. Okay, this is called instantiation. Okay, just now you have seen what is the type of the object type. The object type is function. Okay, so this is a function, and functions can be instantiated in the JavaScript by using new keyword. Okay, yeah, now let's proceed with student.id. Student.name. Student.age, like this. Okay, let me run object.html. So we can check. So what is the type of stud in object2.html page? It's an object. Okay, let us access student.name. It's a mic. Student.id. It's 112. Okay, very easy. So like this also we can also create object. Like this we can create object or by literal. Okay. I don't prefer by using new constructor. New keyword. I don't prefer this one. This type of signature when I used to create objects in the JavaScript. Most of the time I'll be going with the literal only. If not literal, if I would like to make use of that for multiple objects or for multiple values for a student, I'll be going with a different thing that is called constructor. Okay. Now let me write my own constructor. Why should I use a predefined object constructor? Why can't I use my own constructor like a student constructor? What I'm saying is I just want to create a function called student. The student function should be able to store multiple values. Just a second. Yeah, okay. So like that, I would like to make my own constructor. Okay, so this time I'm going to create function student. Okay, and what are the common things for a student? You can just make it like an parameter. You can make them as a parameter. Age, location. Okay, now here comes up this keyword actually. You know, to refer the current object, which keyword should be used in Java programming language? This keyword. Again, the same, this keyword is going to be used here. So This is a current object reference. So this dot id is equal to id. Whatever the memory allocated for the current object, to that current memory location that this keyword is going to be pointing. Okay, so your parameter values will be initialized to the object area. So this is in your object area, you'll be having some memory for id. To that id, the parameter value is going to be initialized. Again, this dot name is equal to name. This dot age is equal to age. This dot location is equal to location. Okay, this is fine. But how can I create object for this student? Very simple. st1 is equal to, just use new student. That's it. Fine. So well, at the time of calling the constructor of student class, constructor of student class, student function, you need to pass the parameters. First one is id. Second one is name. Third one is the age. Then similarly, student 2. Different age, different location. Okay, no problem if it is the same location also. See, like this, I can create any number of objects for the student constructor. Okay, see how we are just creating constructor for the student. In the same way, the object is also a function. Here the student is a function. In that case, the object is also a function. Previously, okay, previously I have used a new object. That object is a function. Here the student is also a function. Okay, let's run this. Object3.html. Okay, first of all, just check what is the type of student is a function. Then what is the type of st1 is an object. Type of st2 is an object. Got it? Now just display st1. st1 is a object, is a student object. So that which comprises of some property names and property values over here. Okay, so property names are age, id, location name, and values are respective here. And if you display st2, it's a different object. So st1 dot name returns Vignesh, st2 dot name returns Shaker, st1 dot location, st2 dot location, st1 dot id, st2 dot id. Is that clear? So this is a kind of reusable thing. Okay. Now I'm trying to disturb this function now, creating a global variable id here. I'm just trying to create a global variable id. Okay. Now, do you think this id is going to disturb this id? Do you think both are same? Hmm? Let me refresh. Check the id value, which is 100. But st1.id is 112. st2.id is 114. So by using this keyword, not only your instance, your value will be copied to that particular instance, but also it preserves your local variables from the external variables, I mean from the global variables. Okay, so if you're using this keyword, it will not be, these variables will not be affected by the global variables, the global variable impact. So whenever the global variable impact is there for your function, so you can preserve the local variable values by using this keyword. Okay, let me show you a diagrammatic approach for this. So what is the third approach here now? The third approach is a constructor way. So by using constructor, our own constructor, not object constructor, we are using our own custom constructor. Student is our custom function and creating object to the student, the custom constructor. Okay, so if I create this function as variable, I mean expression function, would it work or not? You know that I can create functions like this also in JavaScript. Let us run the script. Okay, then check. So the type of student function same. Okay, so st1 dot id, yes, we are getting the output, right? So no issues. Either that can be the traditional function or expression function. Both, you can use anything. Okay, it's a kind of an anonymous function which will be pointed by the student expression. That will be an expression now. How can I make a replica or copy? Okay, now let me tell you how we can define a method in JavaScript object. So this is like a class, and this class contains some states like ID, name, age, location. But what about methods here? So how can we define methods here? Okay, now let me show you method, how to create a method in JavaScript objects. You know, method is nothing but like a function within a function. But how to define that function within a function, I'll show you now. For example, after yeah, so let me create a function here. First of all, using this keyword only, define this. So this dot, some function name. For example, function name is we need to make some behavior here for a student. Mm, what would be the behavior for the student object? Okay, let me create a new program, then that would be okay. I'll create a new program for this with a different example. Okay, I'll make vehicle. So what would be the properties of vehicle? Model and fuel type then manufacturer. That means the same names. Okay, so I have initialized all the properties for the vehicle object, and let us declare a behavior for this vehicle now. Vehicle. So this dot run, okay, is equal to run. So here run is a function. Run would be a function here. Function. Let us declare the function run with an argument speed. Okay, and I just want to return a value from this, a string. Run set speed kmph. Okay, this function is going to return. Now student objects are not going to be used here. Yeah, now let us instantiate the vehicle where car. Okay, car is equal to new vehicle, new vehicle of the model petrol Okay, so here is the first object, a car object. Got it? Now let us see the behavior of car. So just check whether the type of car is an object or not. Something problem where car is equal to new vehicle. Are we doing anything wrong here? Model, fuel, manufacture. Yeah, everything is good. Mm, something wrong here. Mhm. Somewhere we're doing mistake. Might be Mhm. Refresh. Okay. Let us check whether we are getting the values or not. This dot, car dot model uncaught car is not defined. Oh shit, sorry. I'm trying to execute object 3.html page. Actually, that program was at HTML object 4. Okay. Yeah, now it works. So type of car object. Okay. So car dot model alto car dot fuel petrol and car dot manufacturer Maruti. Now car dot run of, so this is what the behavior of car will run, and here we need to provide a parameter. So although runs at max 120 kilometers, so runs at 120 kilometers per hour. So that is the behavior of Maruti, the car here. Let me create one more object which is not a car, but I'll create a lorry or a truck is a vehicle. Diesel. Yeah, refresh. Now try to show the behavior of truck here. So truck dot run. Of course, the truck will run max at 80 kilometers per hour. So runs at 80 km. Car dot run at 120. Runs at 120 kilometers per hour max. Okay. So what is the difference between Java and JavaScript here? Just only the class. Okay. The difference is only class. Except that rest of the things are same. Got it? Yeah. Okay. So this is about objects here, and how to define the states for objects and how to define the behavior for objects. So in three ways we can create objects in JavaScript. So one is literal way, another is new keyword, creating instance to the object function, and making our own customized function and calling with the constructor. And the same program will be extended but not only for the states, but also for expressing the behaviors like this. So it's a function within a function. So this is the behavior. So if we call the vehicle dot run here, vehicle dot run, the run will call this run. I mean this function. Okay, car dot run. Example, car dot run of 120. So in the car object, car is an already an instance to the function here. So that instance will call the run and with the parameter, and it returns this value. Okay, any questions? Any doubts, questions? First of all, did you understand this class, today's class? Don't get confused. It's very easy, but you need some practice in order to understand these things.